Welcome to Weekly Digest, where we highlight the works of ministers of government as they push the administration's development agenda. Senior Minister in the Office of the President with responsibility for finance, Dr. Ashni Singh, stated that present-day investments represent a visible response to the government's policy to promote investments. He made this statement at the launch of a $400 million concrete production facility and oxygen plant in Emilio's ward.
My assurance to you is that you have in President Ali and his government, you have a central government that is firmly and unwaveringly committed to doing all that we possibly can to continue to improve the lives of the people of Region 10.
It was the PPPC's vision to ensure that development takes place in every region. So with the enactment of that legislation, special concessions were given as it relates to income tax and other areas of taxation to facilitate businesses coming to these areas to invest. The PPPC has put in place a mechanism for investments in Linden so that the people of Linden could have jobs.
The government of Guyana and the Inter-American Development Bank signed an agreement for financing of up to US $83.3 million from the Norwegian Agency for Development Cooperation to improve the diversification of the country's energy matrix.
There is a training component that will involve the training of women too. Right? In addition to, as you mentioned earlier, the move from manual to digital utilization of the whole control system. So it has modernization, it has the fact that women will benefit from the training too, and also the fact that GPL will be moving from fossil fuel to greater use of renewable energy. So this is transformative for Guyana.
The Commission of Inquiry, which was launched to probe illegal events at the March 2, 2020 general and regional elections, will in no way influence proceedings before the Caribbean Court of Justice.
Certainly not. They are unconnected process. In fact, the CCJ has already heard one election petition appeal. So they are not connected. Those matters are already in the court. They were filed 2 years prior to the petition, 2 years prior to this commission, and there is absolutely no nexus between the two.
In the health sector, in keeping with the manifesto promise of expanding primary health care and the range of medical personnel, government launched a clinical and technical training program to expand the pool of medical professionals. 124 participants have commenced the training to become X-ray technicians, environment health assistants, medical lab technicians, dentechs, and dental assistants.
The 124 of you who are here, you can start changing the way that our health center or our health system would look and feel a couple of years from now. You can help us to become that catalyst for change that we are looking for.
The first person to be diagnosed with monkeypox in Guyana has been released from hospital as he is now non-infectious.
Our first patient is now back at home. That patient is non-infectious and can resume work. And we had a lot of his close contacts in quarantine. They have all now been rechecked. None of them showed any signs or symptoms of monkeypox, so they can resume normal activity as well.
Taking a look at agriculture, the hinterland villages of Kato and Monkey Mountain in Region 8 will now be able to increase their agriculture produce as government presented the villages with a tractor each. The tractors were accompanied by tillers and plows and collectively worth $32 million.
We are here to, at a simple ceremony, to hand over to the community some implement and equipment that will enhance your livelihood. We have seen over the last 2 years, Guyana have been taking the spotlight in the Caribbean in terms of pushing and driving the agriculture agenda. Our president is leading the charge in CARICOM on the agriculture agenda. And today the entire Caribbean are looking forward to Guyana for that leadership.
As government continues to push the agri-sector and expanding production in Guyana, 20 farmers received the pigs from the Guyana Livestock Development Authority.
Today's activity, we're now at the, I believe our production level is about a million kg, about 990,000 kg. We are hoping that in the next 3 years, we can increase swine production in this country to about 4 million kg, and that is achievable.
The remaining complement of 868 blackbelly sheep from Barbados is expected to arrive by early October.
132 blackbelly are in the country right now. That is the first transit that came from Barbados. They are presently housed at the GLDA station here at Monrepo. I'm hoping by the end of this month, early next month, we can have the other set comes in to make up the 1,000 blackbelly.
In the infrastructure sector, over $100 million has been set aside for the rehabilitation of the Soesdijk-Linden Highway.
Within a matter of weeks, this People's Progressive Party civic government will be securing approval of financing in excess of $100 million to upgrade and repair the Linden to Soesdijk Highway.
The minister also stated that plans are in the pipeline to construct concrete bridges along the major junctions between Kurupakari and Lethem.
We have in the budget in excess of 3 billion Guyana dollars, 3.2 billion Guyana dollars to be precise, to complete concrete bridges on all of the major crossings between Kurupakari and Lethem. And contracts have already been awarded, and contractors are currently being mobilized to construct those concrete bridges.
Some 650 persons who were allocated house lots in charity and under-Neiman housing schemes on the Essequibo Coast, Region 2, will be able to commence the construction of their homes by the end of the year.
By the end of this year, we want to be able to show them where their lot is, their new lot is, and so provide opportunities for development of new housing scheme, development for their own lives, starting their own family, probably in their own space.
Residents of Mocha Arcadia will soon benefit from major road development. 2 contracts were signed for the major infrastructural upgrade. A whopping $46.2 million contract was signed for the construction of the Barnwell Road, while a contract to the tune of $49.1 million was inked to install 650 meters of pavement at Cemetery Road.
As you can see, we are doing work throughout every community across this country. And special interest is paid to Mocha. As you can see, no other than His Excellency is here today to serve you.
These residents will also benefit from improved drainage as works are underway to rehabilitate the drainage system in the area.
Development will be given regardless of who you are, regardless of what position you hold. And the residents of Mocha will not be excluded from such development.
Residents of Annandale are set to benefit from improvements to the area's irrigation and drainage system, infrastructure, and other interventions.
The ministries are finalizing the list of roads that are going to be going out to tender within weeks, under a month, and it is envisaged, and the Minister will bear with me if this is the plan, it is envisaged we would like even to local contractors to be involved in your community roads.
Persons traversing the Diamond Grove East Bank corridor are assured of improved traffic flow with the recent conclusion of major infrastructural works.
So this is part of our overall strategy of improving traffic flow, reducing time people spend going to work, getting home from work, going to business, getting home from business, and provide better comfort. And this is in keeping with the overall vision of President Ali while we're putting in the highways and while we're doing improvements to roads.
Residents from the village of Buxton, East Coast Demerara, will soon reap the benefits of 25 rehabilitated bridges and employment to foster economic development.
This intervention should not be taken lightly. You spoke, we heard, we respond. Is that okay? And one of the things that you said is that you have the people in Buxton who could do the work, and you would like that the work to be done by Buxtonians. So I don't want to leave here today and anybody complain how Bishop Edgell bring people to do the work in Buxton. So look around this room, and anybody who gets in a contract, if they're not from Buxton, tell me today that they're not from Buxton. All the names we call here are Buxtonians? Are people from this area? Yes. Huh? Yes. So there should be no complaint. Secondly, we expect that with the award of these contracts, your workforce will be from Buxton. So that will mean employment for young men and maybe some women who know during the period of this project.
Motorists and pedestrians will benefit from quality and well-maintained roads as government has commissioned a new road milling machine.
We have more than 105 contractors who on a monthly basis have to weed and clean road shoulders. We have to ensure drainage is in order, and we have to ensure that the markings and the safety signs are there.
In education, residents of Martyrsville and the surrounding areas are set to benefit from a newly commissioned nursery school.
To us in opposition, you need a school here. We listened, we assessed whether that was needed, and then we made a promise. And today we're fulfilling that promise. And if there is nothing else you remember about us this morning, I want you to remember, to us in this government, we keep our promises.
Young people in hinterland communities are set to benefit from government's part-time job initiative as well as BIT training. This is part of bridging the access to opportunities between the coast and the hinterland.
BIT is like a training institution that goes to the villages and train. And they train in areas that are needed in heavy duty, in garment construction, and servicing, repairs, and many other areas.
Some 200 women in regions 7 and 9 will benefit from a new program launched by the Guyana Energy Agency in collaboration with the Board of Industrial Training and the Small Business Bureau. The training, dubbed the Women Empowerment in Energy Program, will enhance the capability of the participants in dealing with the emerging energy subsector.
When we're talking about technical and vocational education training, no more can Guyana just looking at men when they're talking about it. The census in 2012 indicated that nearly 52% of the people that live in Guyana were females. And we have a census just launched last week. My prediction is that will show up about 55% of the population is female. And so we cannot afford to exclude from technical and vocational training more than half of the population.
Skilled Guyanese working in the technical field without any certification now have the opportunity to gain accreditation with the launch of the Prior Learning Assessment and Recognition Program.
I'm delighted because the launching today speaks of your government commitment to action, promises we made in our manifesto in 2020. We promised to work towards the development of a Guyanese society which is free, prosperous, socially just, globally competitive, and which serves every Guyanese equitably. We said that every Guyanese must have a chance for a good education, access good paying jobs, be able to start their own businesses, raise and provide for their families, own their own homes, live in a safe and secure environment, and retire with dignity. We promise to deliver a quality education to all, to improve access to education at every level, enhance opportunities in technical vocational education.
In culture, Minister within the Office of the Prime Minister with responsibility for public affairs, Kwame McCoy, met and interacted with participants at the heritage celebrations in Soesdijk. He noted that the celebrations demonstrate the rich diversity of Guyanese culture.
You can be assured, absolutely so, that you have a government in the People's Progressive Party Civic, led by Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali, that will be that government that will ensure that we work with every single Guyanese as you have seen us over the last 2 years.
He emphasized the need for collaborative efforts as a country to build one Guyana.
Most of us strive towards building a one Guyana and making sure that our people are unified and making sure that we understand and establish a one common vision and one common objective of moving forward.
Guyanese gathered in droves to celebrate Amerindian heritage at Circuitville, Yarracabra on the Soesdijk-Linden Highway. Minister McCoy said Amerindians are guaranteed of their integration in the country's national development.
It is absolutely important because it is the way we ought to build our society. Our society must be built on the basis of respect for each other, understanding about each other's heritage and each other's culture, understanding where we are as a society together and where we want to go together as a people of this country.
5 residents in mainstay Wayaka had a little more to celebrate as they received keys to their new homes from Food for the Poor. Minister Sukairi committed government support to NGOs who work at finding solutions for vulnerable groups.
We must say from the level of the government that we remain committed in supporting the institutions that are complementing the work when it comes to addressing the needs and meeting and finding solutions for vulnerable groups. And here today is the evidence.
The government initiative saw scores of parents and guardians receiving a total of $100,000 from the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security at the Watuka Guest House, Linden, Region 10. The sum comes under the Special Needs Grant, where government is making available resources to children living with disabilities to better their lives.
We've managed to clear that up and to make the whole process very seamless, very transparent. There has been a very good doctor on site who has been seeing all of those persons who have queries. But by and large, we've managed to assure people, we have managed to see everybody, no one has been turned away.
The Fire Advisory Board of Guyana has launched an education awareness program to inform the public on fire safety and fire prevention.
We need to talk more about prevention. We need to speak more about safety in totality and the security which goes along with it. And we need to improve our responses at the level of the fire service. We have many more steps to undertake to have improvements and to make sure that the public is aware of the improvements we need to make and the fact that we have to be vigilant in respect of the question of fires.
That's it for this edition of Weekly Digest. For these and other government-related information, do log on to our website, dpi.gov.gy, and our social media platforms. Goodbye.